WBNG-12 Sports Team presents your Southern Tier Kickoff.
Good morning and welcome in once again to your Southern Tier Kickoff show exclusively right here on WBNG. I'm Zach Grady, and let me once again wish you a happy holiday as I am thankful to you for starting your Saturday off with us once again. And we will get to all of the NCAA action in store for you today, but we are going to start our Saturday morning off with 3 New York State semifinal games going on right now, right here in the Southern Tier. As we go live to Vestal High School and 12 Sports' Keith Savage, who is at Dick Hoover Stadium for all of the Saturday high school football showdowns going on. Keith, I know you said first thing here this morning, it's been a shootout between Moravia and Trumansburg. What's going on as we speak right here behind you?
By number 53, Quinn.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm here at Dick Hoover Stadium in Vestal. It is freezing out. It's in the teens. The snow is starting to come down, but I've been here since 9 in the morning where A-Man football kicked off. Trumansburg, Moravia, 2 teams. They played on Section 4 title just 2 weeks ago, where Trumansburg was able to win 34-12. Both squads were able to make the tournament. Going on right behind me right now, Moravia and Trumansburg, they were tied at 20 apiece in the first quarter, but now Blue Devils up 42-34 in the fourth, thanks to their quarterback. Thomas Palmer has 4 touchdowns, having one of the best games of his career. The winner of this game, they play at Moravia High School. But for the second game, we have Chenango Forks against Salamanca. The Blue Devils, they are going to be ready to have a big game. The Blue Devils, they won 42-7 against General Brown just a week ago. And Salamanca, though, this team is the real deal. They're unbeaten, 12-0. Right now, Warriors are ranked 1, and the Blue Devils are ranked 2 in the rankings. So I think this one is going to be a very good game. But if you're going to this game, it's supposed to start at noon. But based on how this game is going on behind me, this one might not end till noon. So be ready for this one to maybe start till 12:45, maybe even 1 o'clock. But this one should start late, but should be a good one. It's Finn Starks at 4 touchdowns in their last game, and he might want to have another big-time showing if they want to move on. But for the final game, it's Maine and going against the Health Science Charter, as the Spartans, they have been on fire. They won 46 of the last 47 games. With that loss coming last year to Rye in the state tournament, but they won 48-22 against Indian River a week ago. They were tied at 14, but Landon Rolo, the running back, he could not be stopped. He had 5 touchdowns and just 7 carries. Just absurd numbers by him. And I feel like this one is going to go this way. They're the top squad in their class, where it's going to be an entertaining one. But overall, a lot of good games going on at Dick Hoover Stadium. I'll be here for all 3 of them. So if anybody wants to bring some nice chicken noodle soup, I won't say no to that. But that's all I have here. Now back to you guys at the desk.
All right, Keith, man, make sure you stay warm and make sure you guys stay tuned tonight as well at 10 and 11 for all of those highlights, as Keith Savage will be there all afternoon at Dick Hoover Stadium for the New York State semifinals. I got NCAAs on the mind because that's the state semis not only going on, but the second round of the NCAAs going on for Division III football. We bring in the rest of the team, Michael Villegas, Kevin Quinn here, as we get you set and started as the Cortland Red Dragons will host number 10, the Endicott Gulls, in the NCAAs. Gentlemen, Cortland coming in 22-game winning streak. What do they have to do to make it 23? Kevin, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that Cortland really holds their hat on is this explosive offense. Whether it's Zach Boyes, their quarterback, he can get it done on the ground. He can get it done through the air. Running backs, receivers, everybody having a great season. If you look at Endicott, they do have a great defense, but if they can't slow down the Red Dragons, they're going to be in for a world of pain.
Michael, I mean, the Red Dragons offense, like he said, rolling all year, but that defense as well. You had brought it up before we talked about the number of players from the Red Dragons this year that made All-Empire 8. I mean, that team is stacked. What's going on?
On both sides of the ball, they are. You mentioned the defensive side as well. As much as everyone knows the Zach Boyes, the Jaden Alfano St. John, and then Ethan Gallo, the three, you know, of the offensive powerhouses there. Nick Lodardo on the defensive side, big number 95 coming off the end. He is a real problem for people that they really have to take account for. So, yeah, not only do you have to stop them, like you're seeing here, as Zach Boyd's running in, but you also have to account for the defensive side of the ball, which they've stood up for. I was a little bit surprised, though, with the Cortiga game going against the Ithaca Bombers, that they did let up as many points as they did for being a powerhouse, 22-game win streak. They're 10-0 this season, but that one was a little close for my comfort.
Well, I mean, Ithaca's a great team, and actually Ithaca got a chance to play against Cortland at Endicott. Both of those teams going against the Gulls this year, both getting a win. So, I mean, listen, you mentioned the defense. You mentioned what it comes down to. I think the defense, when it comes down to this year, is going to be stopping Clayton Merengue. I mean, the quarterback for the Gulls, only 1 interception the entire season, along with 23 touchdowns passing, 9 on the ground. So that Cortland defense needs to create some turnovers, needs to do something to get the ball back into Zach Boyce's hands, control the clock. But, you know, these two teams, they've played twice before. Cortland winner 2 times before, both in the NCAA. So hopefully we can get another Red Dragons win and maybe a chance to head down to the NCAA championship, which is down in Texas. But if you're headed to Grady Field, if you're going to head to the Cortland game and haven't gotten there yet, the weather, it's going to be interesting. So let's head on over to Connor Thompson, who's going to break down your football forecast for today's NCAA second-round matchup.
Kicking off today at noon against Endicott. Let's take a look at what we can expect for the weather there, and it is going to be a chilly one, folks. Looking at temperatures holding steady, mid to upper 20s. It's going to be breezy as well. We could see gusts getting upwards of near 20, 25 miles an hour. That's going to make it feel more like the teens and maybe even at times the single digits. So if you're heading out to the game, make sure you bundle up. It's going to be a cold one. November ending on a cold note here. Hopefully Cortland can come out with the W.
In Broome County, 1 in 5 people struggle with hunger, housing, and mental health. And this year, the need is greater than ever. You can help by donating during Catholic Charities' annual Harvest for Hunger and Hope phone bank, December 4th and 5th on 12 News at 4, 5, 5:30, and 6.
You have a vision, a dream. Growing your business takes a partner you know and trust. At Gray Digital Media, we can help because we know local. Our digital marketing experts know how to reach your customers. Our experience spans coast to coast, but our focus is right here in Binghamton. Gray Digital Media. We know local. Let's connect today. GDMBinghamton.com.
From where it happens.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
To where you live.
I'm T. Chappelle.
And I'm Lee Zurich.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We uncover real problems, issues that affect us all.
Go, go, go.
They'd be outgunned, wouldn't they?
They would definitely be outgunned.
Do they have too much control?
They do.
And real solutions that help keep your family safe.
It's a serious threat to patients.
It should be terrifying to all of us.
It could be worse.
The FDA is taking a look at it.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Why are they hiding it?
The top of the car was ripped like a can opener.
Show me your hands.
They're dropping the ball, in your opinion.
Exactly.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
I was shocked.
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 4:30, only on WBNG.
Washington Media Scholars Foundation, proudly celebrating over 15 years of empowering college students through scholarships, career opportunities, and industry connections. Compete for over $150,000 in scholarships and an all-expense-paid networking trip to Washington, D.C. Connect with top media companies, enhance your media skills, and advance your career. Visit mediascholars.org to learn more.
From the nicest man in Mayberry.
I'm an honest man and an honest sheriff.
To the biggest mouth in Queens.
You're gonna love this!
You won't find a better sheriff.
Well, shucks.
Or a worse neighbor.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life.
The Andy Griffith Show, weeknights at 8.
I think you're the best sheriff in the whole world.
And All in the Family, Sundays at 8.
Get lost.
Weekends and weeknights on Binghamton's MeTV.
This week on Svengoolie,
visitors from outer space.
Oh, not just any visitors. These are extra creepy. Horror
Forrest Tucker stars in the 1958 sci-fi classic The Crawling Eye.
Tonight at 8 on Binghamton's MeTV.
The 12 Sports Team presents your Southern Tier Kickoff.
Thank you for staying with us here this morning. The number 4 Nittany Lions kick off at 3:30 today in Happy Valley. Penn State trying to virtually guarantee a spot in the CFP brackets, that with a win over the Maryland Terrapins. Kevin, what does Penn State have to do to get the win?
Yeah, Zach, like you said, it's a fairly simple mission for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Win over Maryland and secure a college playoff berth. Even though it's rivalry week, this matchup has been fairly lopsided in recent years. Penn State has won the last 3 contests by an average of almost 28 points, and their all-time record against the Terrapins is 43-3. So they're hoping history continues. Penn State's running game has been a strength this season, but one thing Maryland holds their hat on is run defense, ranking inside the top 50 for yards allowed per game. Head coach James Franklin is giving his team credit after a road win last week in Minnesota, and he's hoping to keep that momentum going.
We overcame a lot of adversity on the road and found a way to get a big-time Big Ten win, which is tough to do. You look across college football, you know, that's hard to do.
And as for some keys to the game, the rushing game has been dominant with Nick Singleton and Katron Allen with a combined 1,300 rushing yards. Then the Lions, however, just lost their starting right tackle, Anthony Donko, last week. It'll be interesting to see how they fill that hole. Not many holes in this team, but their passing defense has been middle of the pack. But for that third key, it's just remembering that Maryland has nothing to lose, as they're not bowl eligible. Penn State does not want to play down to their level this afternoon.
All right, Kevin, this is a big game for Penn State because they're not going to be into the conference championship game. So this is the last kind of display that they can go for the college football committee to cement their spot. What do they have to do to get a home game in the CFP brackets this year?
Yeah, so what they have to do is really win by a lot. And also, you know, it's not going to happen, but if Michigan beat Ohio State, they do have a little bit of chance there. Well, we'll talk about that later. But run game, get it going early, score a lot. I think if you want a higher seed in this playoff, you want to beat them 48-0 today. Oh. You want to show no doubts anywhere. You want to show defense, offense, everything's squared away and where it should be.
All right, that being said, if this is a game that they should be winning, it should be winning handily. Are you opening up the whole playbook? Are you trying to hold things back? Or are you, trying to make that statement to say, hey, we deserve to be in the CFP?
I mean, like Kevin said, at this point, you want to show, your strength at this point. I don't know if you want to open up the whole playbook, because then you'll give it away in the playoff bracket. Because at number 4, they look like they're going to make it. It's just where they're going to be slotted at and if they're going to be taking those home games. So I don't know if I would open up the whole thing. I don't think they need to against this team. They're 43-3, as Kevin said, against Maryland. So I don't think they have to do that. They just have the talent. That's just a better team right now.
All right, 24.5. That's a big number. They've been tough getting those big spreads. They've covered maybe 2 the whole year. They've covered a bunch, yes, but it's been in the closer games. Hasn't really been able to blow a team out. They've looked a little bit more explosive now that they brought in a second quarterback, but, when what they say is if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. So, Kevin, who's your pick today?
Yeah, like I said, the statistic of the day here for Penn State, the last 3 meetings versus Maryland, they've beat them by an average of 27.7 points per game. I have them covering the spread.
I agree as well. I mean, the spread at 24.5 made me a little bit nervous. I'm always nervous to go against a spread that large. But for number 4, Maryland, like Kevin said, with the history that they have against Maryland, I'm going to take Penn State as well.
Yeah, you can see that I went with Maryland. I think that 24.5 is too big of a number. Anytime that Penn State has supposed to blown a team out this year, they've ended up being close. Look, Penn State has some good wins for sure, but they're not great wins. And you look at that ranking, that number 4 spot, how things break out over the next couple weeks. I'm wondering if they're going to not be ended up dropping into 8, 9, or 10. I mean, listen, if Ohio State beats Oregon, you're not going to have, Oregon now at 5, possibly, a Big 12 champion at 6 or 7. We were talking about, Boise State earlier, sitting there at 4. It's going to be hard for Penn State to have another game at Happy Valley, I think. And when it all breaks out, it's going to be a little bit different than what we're looking at right now. But what we're going to go look at, and we're going to move over to Syracuse and the JMA Wireless Dome as they host one of the teams that we didn't talk about in our CFP discussion there, the number 6 team in the country, the Miami Hurricanes. Michael, what can we expect from the 315 today?
Yeah, Zach, this is a big game for the Orange in their regular season finale. Syracuse is coming off a 31-24 win over UConn. Kyle McCord is averaging over 300 yards passing per game this season. He came out slinging it in this one. He went 37 for 47 with 2 touchdowns and a season-high 470 passing yards. And with that, McCord took the top spot in the Syracuse record books for single-season passing yards, as he now has 3,946 yards heading into the final game. UConn made it a tough day on the ground for the Orange as the Quinn Allen finished with 59 yards on 20 carries, but he did have a touchdown. Sophomore wide receiver Darrell Gill Jr. had a career day, 9 catches, 185 yards, while Oronde Gatson Jr. finished with 11 catches, 103 yards, and a touchdown. After moving to 8-3 on the season, Syracuse remains unranked, which head coach Fran Brown says he doesn't really understand.
I don't really look at like where they ranked at and stuff like that. They won't rank because I've seen a lot of 8-3 teams in the country. We're not ranked, so I just go through all these guys ranked. I don't know what it takes to be ranked anymore, so I don't really kind of pay attention to that because I know I've seen a few teams that lost to some teams that lost to teams we beat. So I was wondering how would they still be ranked. So I don't really understand the ranking anymore. I got to go read the whole ranking piece of it and see how that goes. And then, but I'm excited we get to play against Coach Cristobal because he's been a great coach. He's dominated everywhere he's been coaching. So then he get an opportunity to come here and I get to go against him. And like I said earlier, we both had a chance of learning under Coach Shiano.
As for the keys to the game for Syracuse, first is the toughest. You have to limit Cam Ward. I didn't say stop, but you have to limit him. How do you do that? Control time of possession. Take the ball out of Ward's hands. Second, Kyle McCord needs to play his best game. Already in the Syracuse record books for single-season passing yards, but he still needs to play mistake-free football. You can't have the Kyle McCord from the Pitt game who threw 5 picks. Lastly, Syracuse needs to make Miami make the mistakes and capitalize on them. Penalties, turnovers, stall drives. Syracuse needs to turn those into points. The Orange can't let their foot off the gas at any point in this game if they want to win.
All right, I want to get back to what Coach Brown was talking about with the rankings there, because, listen, if they win today, they're going to be ranked. Hands down, simple as that. But, yeah, they've had a few games where they've been, 26, 27, 28, and they've had the opportunity again in the rankings. And I thought when we woke up on a Tuesday or on a Sunday morning, we would see them there. At the end of the day, though, it comes down to, I think the ACC has been a little bit disrespected. You look at some of the teams that are in the top 25 now, with Miami, with SMU, with Clemson. If you look at their strength of schedules, you look at some of the metrics that they use, they stand right on up with the SEC. That all being said, you talk about the keys to the game. You're right. They do all those things. It's going to be a close game. I think Syracuse does do all those things today. I think they get the win, or don't get the win, but I do think that they cover there. Kyle, come in, what you got?
I'll go even a little crazier. I do think they can win this football game. You watch Miami all year long, and they crumble in these big moments. They let these games versus teams that are worse than Syracuse get out of hand and barely scrape by, and their defense just can't get stops. And like we said, if Kyle McCord can take care of the football today, we can get that time possession on the clock, keep it going. Syracuse does have a real fighting chance in this one, especially at home versus a Miami team in the cold weather. If they're anything like the Miami Dolphins, cold weather does not go well.
Well, good thing it's in a dome, so they don't got to worry too much about the weather, but you're all right.
Yeah. Well, there's stuff for the air in there. Yeah. Heating the whole dome.
For me, I'm going with Miami in this one, which is a bummer, but it's a 10.5 spread. I think that Cuse can make it a tough game, but I still think that Miami covers.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's come down to controlling the possession. If Kyle McCord can have long drives, it's going to be close. But if that team is electric in Miami, they can score whenever they really want to. But a lot of ramifications from that one. Listen, if Syracuse ends up 9-3 and they're ranked, they're going to go to a big bowl game, that is for sure. If Miami loses, it's pretty much over for them, because with SMU, with Clemson, and a 2-loss ACC team, I don't think they make it to the EFP. But stay tuned here as well. WBNG has CBS's Game of the Day. That takes place between the Trojans and the Fighting Irish. Those are our standings. Don't worry, we're going to get to those picks as well, including our pick of USC versus Notre Dame. So don't go anywhere. We are back in just a few moments, and make sure you tune in at 3:30 for the Game of the Day.
ADHD diagnoses in the United States for school kids has increased by 43% in less than 10 years.
This was the first time a teacher ever mentioned ADHD. I was super offended.
A big part of me thought it was a bogus diagnosis.
The flip side of distractibility is curiosity. What's that? What's that? What's that? If you didn't care, you wouldn't get distracted.
I'm a risk taker. I'm creative.
Zara's a brilliant writer.
He has a lot of skills, like to ask questions, to be argumentative, to push boundaries.
Around ADHD, there's tremendous ignorance. Most people are not aware of the positives that go with it.
Can't sit still, disorganized, can't focus, lazy, stupid.
You can't make it. You never listen, you don't clean your room. It's a super skill set.
Centrally located, yet wonderfully removed. The Spa at Traditions.
Having a place to call home can be challenging, and some only see it as a dream. But Broome County Habitat for Humanity can turn that dream into a reality, building and providing safe and affordable homes for families right here in Broome County. We believe in giving people a hand up, not a hand out. Our partner families work hard, both building their homes and must meet income eligibility requirements. With every home we build, we create opportunities for families to thrive. Each new home means another family gets the chance to dream bigger, live healthier, and feel safer. It's more than just a house. It's a home filled with the possibilities of tomorrow. We believe in the power of community. Our volunteers come together to build not just homes, but a stronger and more hopeful future. Join us in making a tangible difference. Your time and effort can change lives and transform Broome County. Are you ready to apply for a mortgage or want to learn how you can help? Visit our website or give us a call today. Broome County Habitat for Humanity. Building homes, building community, building hope.
We interrupt with breaking news.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Take a look. The road is washed out.
The all-new Local News Live streaming app. Search LNL on your TV, on your phone.
Step out of the way so you guys can get a better view.
Local News Live. Always streaming. Always free.
12 Sports Team presents your Southern Tier Kickoff.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER if you are a Pennsylvania resident, or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY if you are a resident of New York. Please gamble responsibly. All right, we take a quick look at the standings as we get ready for rivalry week here in the NCAAs. Myself sitting atop, and we have a few hoping to maintain a 500 record as we got 3 weeks left here of picks. And let's get right into them. We start with the game, Michigan versus the Ohio State. That one in Ann Arbor this year. Or no, sorry, that one at the Shoe this year, minus 20.5 for Ohio State. Kevin, who you got?
Yeah. We say the game this year, it's not going to be much of a game. I'm taking Ohio State. I think they can cover even more than that 20.5. Michigan, maybe next year with their new #1 ranked recruit in the country coming in, can turn things around, but they just want to say goodbye to this season at this rate.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking Ohio State. I made a last-minute switch on this one. After getting some new information on the injury report for Michigan, without Loveland, without Will Johnson at corner, I think that Ohio State's going to cover this one. Again, another large spread, so that made me a little nervous, but I'm going to go Ohio State.
Yeah, I think with the large spread, though, as you guys can see, I'm going to take Michigan in this one, and this being because in these games, when you see that other color helmet, when you see the winged helmet for Michigan or the Buckeye for Ohio State, it's just a different level. It's a different game. It's a different atmosphere. And yes, Michigan, this isn't the best team ever. No, I don't expect them to win. But I do expect it to be close because most rivalry games end up being that way. So I am going to go ahead and take Michigan. But speaking of another rivalry game, this one down at FSU in Tallahassee, playing host to the Gators. talk about keeping it close. I don't think this one will be close, actually. I think the Gators are on the right path, and I'll tell you what, if DJ Lagway sticks around in Gainesville, that's a team to watch out for next year. I'll take Florida minus the 15.
Yeah. I'm going to keep this one very simple. I believe the Gators will win by a lot in what should be DJ Lagway's last game of organized football ever.
I'm also going to take Florida at minus 15. Like you said, with rivalry week going on, we saw last night with Georgia Tech what that can do. So, but I'm still going to take Florida because FSU just hasn't done it this year.
Yeah, they've taken a lot of L's in Mike Norvell LLLL's tenure here. All right, South Carolina Clemson. This is a good one. 15-12, 2.5 points. I think it comes down to the pass rush. I think South Carolina's pass rush is going to disrupt Cade Klubnik and that Clemson offense. I like South Carolina with the points. Who you got?
Yeah, and we were having this debate earlier about the SEC versus the ACC, these sort of strengths of schedules. I am going to take South Carolina here, and I just think the competition that they've played this year, they're tuned up, they're ready for a rivalry game like this, and this is going to be one they really want to win, even though they're on the road. Let's go with the Gamecocks.
And if things break right, they could end up in the playoff as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. South Carolina has been a very good football team, but I'm taking Clemson. I just think Dabo Swinney I believe in Dabo Swinney as a head coach. They've had a little bit of inconsistencies this year, but with minus 2.5, I think that they can beat that.
All right, CBS game of the day, Notre Dame minus 7.5 at USC. That one on the West Coast. I like Notre Dame. I think a lot of people are saying, hey, this is a chance for them to get beat. This is a rivalry game, everything like that. No, this is a chance for Notre Dame to prove themselves. They've looked really good since that Northern Illinois loss. I'll take Notre Dame. And real quick, 45 seconds, guys.
I'm just going to agree with pretty much everything you said there, Zach. I would take Notre Dame. If the spread was 10.5, I'd still take Notre Dame. Fighting Irish.
Yeah, I'm going to go Notre Dame as well. I think they're going to get it done over USC.
All right, and everyone else, you guys can head on to our WBNG homepage as we also picked the game of the night at 7:30, Texas versus Texas A&M. Well, we still got a little bit of time. I got Texas.
Welcome.
Texas.
All right, so we're going across the board there as Texas. So look forward to that. And make sure you stay tuned, like we said, 3:30, Notre Dame versus USC. Thank you for joining us once again here on the Southern Tier Kickoff Show. Hope you have a great morning and enjoy your Saturday.